Oh man, oh I'm so excited. We've got a really big announcement coming up, but lots of videos to do, lots of stuff going on. Um, but yeah, I want to talk to you about a 3D model that I got. It's of the property and it's pretty freaking awesome. So there is a process called photogrammetry where you take a bunch of pictures of an object, like a lot of pictures. These all represent camera angles. And then an algorithm will go through and take those pictures and build a 3D model of it. There are also drone surveying companies that will use drones to fly over your property, take a bunch of pictures of your property, and then use photogrammetry to create a 3D model of that property. And that is exactly what we have. Here's our property of 400 acres plus quite a bit more around the edges that this drone company, Nadar, generated for us. What they also generated was a interpolated map that is the bare ground. So this is what it would look like, obviously not the colors, without all the trees. So here's the model without all of the trees on it. So that's kind of what the bare ground looks like. That's kind of hard to see. Okay, anyway, so what I've done is I've built a shader and created a slope map, I guess. So where the green is pretty much flat and then the red is the steepest sections. And I absolutely love this because when we're out on the property, this is hard to access. This is hard to access. A lot of the property is really hard to access. And so even the roads that go in, if we take a look at some of the roads that go through there, here's the main road that comes in. Here's the power lines that come in. Here's this road that's kind of okay. Here's the road that was in the water tower or the water video. The water catchment system that I have put in is right around here somewhere. But even that road is very, very steep. And it's a little bit sketchy to drive up. And we can see that that road right here is in an orange area. So to have this map and say, okay, yeah, where would be the best place to actually add in access to the rest of the property, particularly this area, we can see that if we follow in the main road and then kind of curve off, we could put in a road that comes in this way and then kind of zigzags around, maybe comes up here and then follows this ridge line up. And that would probably be the easiest or most gentle road to put in, so that way you're not having to drive up like a 45-degree angle. And that makes me very, very, very happy. What it is also good for is trying to figure out where might be a good place to put in water catchment or build in like a little dam so we can build a pond. And we could see it again in the water catchment video. I was standing on that road that was over here somewhere that I lose a lot because it's hard to find. So right there. And I was saying, like, if you look all the way around, it's uphill all the way. So somewhere around here would be a great place to add water catchment, build a little pond or something. And so if we take the trees away, we can see that, yeah, like right around here seems like it'd be a really good spot. Now, we can also go in and see what like a dam would look like. Here's a dam with a bunch of water. The water line is flat, so that really helps see what this is going to look like if I move this around. How much water could we capture versus how long of a dam would we have to build to do that? And this looks like a pretty decent area right through here. It looks like we might have to like carve some of this out. I don't know. It's really easy to get completely lost in a sense of scale though. Like if we're like, oh yeah, like I was doing this earlier. I was like, yeah, you know, maybe somewhere around here. And I was like, how long is that? Oh, like this is like 1,000 feet long. So that's probably not what we want. This little piece right here, that is 96 feet by 100 feet. And so that would be a pond liner for about $4,000. And that would capture something like 300,000 gallons. So it's important for me to go in and add, you know, these little things to keep kind of a sense of scale on this. Over here, we've got a 2,500 gallon water tank. Hello. There we go. So there's a 2,500 gallon water tank. It's very, very small. That's right over here. That's the size of a person. So it's important to kind of try and keep track of the sense of scale here. So having maybe a dam over here, you know, something like that, looks like that might be pretty good. And from there, we can also try to determine like, okay, if we want a road, like we were talking about a little bit before, it probably looks like the best way to have a road would be to come up here following this line and then come around up here and then go up that way. So that would align pretty well with where we want to have our water catchment or our little pond or whatever. It also really helps us see where would be a good place to actually build our structures. Obviously, we can't build something here. I don't really want to build way down here because the main road comes through here, and I would like to have everything we're building not be visible from that road that people use all the time. So with that, this part right here kind of speaks to me, I guess, as being a good place to build. Since it's fairly flat, we can level that out much easier than we could in much of the other places. It puts us kind of in the middle of the topology, I guess. So we've got a lot of room for, you know, capturing maybe some rainwater up here somewhere, or having tanks and whatnot up here that can then be gravity fed down to our structures here. And then that also gives room for drainage. And we also have a good view from this point. So if we take a look at that spot there, and then we can turn on everything else, we still have a pretty decent view of everywhere. We're not at the very bottom. I feel like that's a good spot. Oh, and also from the main road that comes through here, you couldn't really see that spot. So let's take a look at some of the structures that we're looking at. So we turn that on. Oh, I guess one thing to point out, these big yellow planes, this is the solar aspect. That's a solar aspect in the summer. So that's the direction that the sun's rays are coming in the summer, and that's the winter. So that is also super helpful to be like, okay, if we've got our structure here, are we going to get winter sun? And fortunately, yes, we will still be able to get winter sun. It's not blocked by this ridge here. So that's also another thing that having this 3D model really, really helps out with is, you know, where's the sun going to be? Where is a good place for water catchment? Where can we put structures? How many trees would we have to cut down? Actually, I think this is all a little off from where I had it earlier. I think I was looking more at this this clearing right here for putting stuff. But anyway, so here is this little, wait, let's turn that off. Stop selecting those. Okay, so these things here, that's about a 100 square foot cylinder. So an 11-foot diameter cylinder. Here's a 10 by 10 cube, so about 100 square feet. So that's about what that looks like in the grand scheme of things. Here is a 32-foot diameter dome, so that's about 800 square feet if we were to make a geodesic dome that size. Here's a 16-foot or about 200 square foot geodesic dome over here. And this just really helps us try and, I don't know, I love this so much. It helps me just really visualize like what we can do, and where here's another 2,500 gallon tank. So like in playing with over here, I was like, okay, like I want to have a water tank up here and water collection, and then pipe it down to like a, you know, wet room, or like for like showers or a sauna or whatever. Like, what does that look like? And this really, really helps me visualize all those kinds of things and really, you know, be able to plan it out without having to try and trudge around there and take measurements with a water level or whatever. It's just, oh, I love this. I love it so much. It's so amazing. We can do so much with this. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, if you're looking at getting property or whatever, I highly, highly recommend this. It's so cool. Okay, anyway. Yeah, here's where the gate is, I think. Wait, what is that? I think that's just the size of a person. So yeah, here's from a view from the road, and that helps us see that like, okay, yeah, whatever we're building up there, you're probably not going to be able to see through the trees. Oh, I just love it. I love it so much. I love it so much. Anyway, yeah, photogrammetry, drone surveys, freaking amazing stuff. Yeah, like the video if you like it. Subscribe, whatever. Do all the YouTube-y things. Thanks so much for watching. We've got more very exciting stuff coming.